So a few weeks back I did a review on the bootleg Pokemon Green deck, although it wasn't really a bootleg, it was more or less a reproduction cart that was fully translated to be like red, blue and yellow. And people actually really liked that video, and because I actually enjoy doing those kind of videos, I thought I would move on to the Game Boy Advance and check out some really interesting Pokemon games they have in there. So I have with me today my Nintendo DS so I can play this on, just so it's a bit better to see. If I can get the frickin' thing out. And the game I'll be taking a look at today is... oh god, this is actually really hard to do with one hand. Here it is. Pokemon Quartz for the Game Boy Advance. Oh. Well, that's staining. Okay, so interesting thing about this is that it's a ROM hack of Pokemon Ruby, but it's pretty much not your typical ROM hack where it's, you know, normal Pokemon and just a different story and all that. This is a completely, entirely new game, new Pokemon sprites, a new region, and yeah, it's a pretty interesting Pokemon ROM hack, and it's been around since 2006, so it's one of the earliest Pokemon ROM hacks, at least I know of. So just get the DS here, put that in, and I'll show you everything this game has to offer, if I can actually get the game in. Now this game actually has a completely different opening to Pokemon Ruby, Sapphire and even Emerald, as you can see here. Yeah, you can see my reflection a bit in the screen. So as you see there, it's not your standard Torchic and Mudkip affair like you get in Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire. These are completely new Pokemon, and some of them are quite interesting to say the least. There are a few good ones here and there, but this game is actually pretty infamous for its sprite work, and you will see why. I was playing through this game, and as you can see, we've got 13 hours and 47 minutes, which is actually pretty long, because normally by that time I've actually got more badges than just 4. So yeah. As you can see, the trainer sprite isn't Brendan's sprite from Pokemon Ruby, Sapphire and Emerald. With the female sprite, it's not even May's sprite either. It's a completely new sprite, and I've just got myself into a battle. And yeah, like I've said, completely new Pokemon in this game, and yeah. Oh boy. Most of them have the Gen 3 cries, and if I recall correctly, most of the Pokemon from Generation 1 and 2 have been completely redesigned for Pokemon Quartz. So if I can get out of the sand... and if my camera actually wants to focus... the starters are much different as well. You've got Fire Egg, M-Baby, and I haven't got its final evolution yet, but I will put the sprite sheet up later. Aqua Egg, or maybe, I think it is. Sever, and I am not even going to try to pronounce that because I normally fuck that up all the time. Squirrel Ritty, which is just... yep, Zigzagoon. So yeah, most of them should have the default Gen 3 cries, and most of them should be obvious if you played Ruby, Sapphire and Emerald. And this camera is really blurry for some reason today. Hold on. Maybe it is because I'm using a DS Lite. So yeah, the entire Pokédex is redone, and you do actually get some really cool looking Pokemon in this game. Like Rutinator, I hope I pronounced that right. But then you get some really, really questionable designs, if I can find this game's most infamous example. Yes. That is what you're seeing right now. So yeah, this game has some pretty interesting artwork, to say the least. However, that's the only thing that's really going for it, and especially the harsh difficulty this game has. And I am not joking about that when I say this game is actually much more difficult than the main Pokemon Ruby, Sapphire and Emerald. The gyms are a massive pain in the ass compared to the actual game. Mainly because their move pools are really annoying. And if I can actually stream this game one day, I'll actually show you why this game is actually much harder than the other games in my opinion. And it's also pretty glitchy if you play on an official cartridge like I am. If you're playing on an emulator, most of these glitches don't occur, but if I can get into one space... I think it's up here... Or maybe not, I'm just running into tall grass like an idiot. Oh. 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 Yeah. I would try to show the entire map, but on the if you play this game on an emulator, it's just a standard Hoenn map, except it's got new names. However, with this game, try to even access the map. Yeah, it freezes the game, and sometimes if you wait just a little bit, the game will actually start freaking out. But I'm actually not waiting for that to happen. So yeah, you can actually... oh, there it is. So when you get like the HM for Fly, the game pretty much becomes unplayable unless you have like a cheating device. So yeah, overall, Pokemon Quartz, it's alright. But I'm not done with that yet, and if I can actually fully edit the video, I will show some sprites and other things I want to talk about. Pokemon Quartz takes place in a different region, like I said at the first part of the review. This is a corner map from Pokemon Quartz. While the map design is nearly identical to Hoenn from Pokemon Ruby, Sapphire and Emerald, most towns and routes in the game are completely different, meaning the map is a bit confusing when you're taking a look at it, especially during my playthrough at least. Pokemon Quartz is also pretty strange in terms of, well, tone. There's a lot of weird occurrences when NPCs say some rather questionable things to you, and the game also tends to have a lot of swearing and kind of edgy shit happening in the game, just to say the least. It's quite weird, in all honesty. Yeah, you can pretty much see what I mean about this game being quite questionable in tone, and if you know what's going on in this screenshot, you're not the one that has the dirty mind, in all honesty. Overall, Pokemon Quartz is a relic of its time. It was one of the earliest ROM hacks for Generation 3, and it does do a lot of things good. Some of the fan-made Pokemon are okay at best, and some of them are quite awful to say the least. Not to rip onto Creator's Art or anything, but overall, Pokemon Quartz is pretty good. I remember seeing a lot of this hack back in the day when I was really young, because I actually thought this was a brand new Pokemon game. And in honesty, this was pretty much my first Pokemon game I owned myself, and yeah, that's a fact you can take home with you. Yeah. But yeah, Pokemon Quartz isn't as bad as everyone says. Mainly they just say that because of the hideous sprite work, but it's not as bad as everyone says. Yeah, there are some bad sprites here and there, but nothing that really destroys the game. Like I said, the tone in the game is rather questionable, to say the least. And you can definitely tell that this was made by someone who was really young. I think, if I recall from what I heard, the creator was 14 when he made this game, so that is to be expected. So yeah, definitely one of the interesting Pokemon games in my collection. And next time, if I can find a damn cartridge, I'll be moving on to Pokemon Ranger, which is a ROM hack of Pokemon Fire Red and Leaf Green that follows the Orange Islands anime. So thanks for watching, this has been JoJo's Mojo, and yeah, hopefully I can actually do more of these like Pokemon game reviews, because I actually enjoy it, and if you want to see more of these, then consider sticking around, I guess.